The University of Nairobi spreads its tentacles across the country, and today we are joined by one of the governors from a satellite campus, that is Mombasa Campus, to share with us what his experience has been leading one of these campuses. With me in studio is the governor of Mombasa Campus, and I'll allow him to introduce himself.
My name is Muthini. I'm the governor, University of Nairobi, Mombasa Campus. I am a final year law student, final semester, done with academics and soon to be done with leadership. And I'm glad to be on set today.
How has it been leading one of the satellite campuses of the University of Nairobi?
It's been quite a good challenge. I'd call it a challenge because it's not been smooth all through, but quite enjoyable. When I joined the University of Nairobi Mombasa Campus, I started off as a class representative of, now I can say, the only law school in Mombasa or Coast region. Right. So from there, I was able to start appreciating the needs of students, what they need, what they ought to have, and aligning to the vision that most had. Then slowly I climbed up the ladder, joined UNSA as a Secretary General, where I served for one term, and rose up to become chairperson, where I served for another one term. And I believe through it all, I've been able to interact with the students, get to their level, appreciate our challenges, and together work on solving them and ensuring that our sole purpose of achieving excellence at the university is achieved.
You have mentioned that you've enjoyed it.
Yes.
What
greatly.
would you term as the best part of this particular tenure now as chairperson?
I think one of the best parts have been, must have been networking. I've been able to network with students, first of all, because they're my first constituents, and to appreciate that each student has unique talents, unique abilities, unique ideas, from the first years who just walked in the university just the other semester to the final years who've just left. Each and every single one of them would come to you with an idea on how to better the academic program, how to make life easier, how to step up and walk into job opportunities. So I think that's one of the best aspects of my leadership. I found it quite fulfilling. Also networking with the outside partners. When I joined in, one of the key manifestos that I sought to achieve was to ensure that I opened the university to as many opportunities as possible. Not just the university, by the university, of course, I mean my students and my constituents. So I believe I've been able to expose them to that in a very good way. I've been able to form a few partnerships here and there that will better not only the cohorts that have been there during my leadership, but also those who are going to come.
Mombasa Campus is home to more than one faculty, unlike the other campuses we have of the University of Nairobi, which only have, say, one faculty of arts and things like that. What are some of the challenges that are posed by that kind of an environment where you have students from various academic faculties being brought together under one campus?
I think one thing that has been a challenge to me, I'm a law student, as I've said.
Yes.
And in Mombasa Campus, the biggest faculty is the Faculty of Business. Now, the problems that are faced in the Faculty of Business as a law student, it took me some time for me to be able to sit down and understand this is how the units are done, this is where the problem is. As much as my team has to be well balanced, of which it was, as a chair, most of the times the burden falls on your shoulders. So I ended up to have to take much time to ensure that I understand Faculty of Business, something that and Faculty of Arts as well, something that I can say that I wish should not have been the case had it not been a mixed campus. But nonetheless, it was still a good challenge to understand that even if a person does not come for your faculty, or even in the outside country, even if you do not relate entirely with the problems, you still, as a leader, ought to serve them and ensure that their lives are better.
You hinted about your manifesto. Mind sharing with us some of the things that you envisioned you'd be able to achieve within this 1 year?
My main goal was to ensure that there is a very smooth transition from academic life in campus to the outside world, in that as early as in first, second, third year, we'll have students being able to get this work experience as early as then, so that once they graduate, they already have the networks and the knowledge to be able to transition out of campus. One thing that I said I'd fight was the aspect of career students who are scared of transitioning out, of coming out of this banner of university students, simply because they do not know what the future holds. So I worked on increasing that networking capacities, job opportunities. I actually worked on, as a law student, I brought back the Debating Club Association, whereby we had our students participating in debates both internally. I think the last time we had an internal debate was 2017 or 2018. But once I took over as governor, that's one thing that I strictly prioritize, to make sure that the life of Faculty of Law is back in action. Recently, not recently, let me just say yesterday, we had, which should be the 13th of March, we had the launch of 2 programs, Women's Students Welfare Association, which was there initially, but as a skeleton. But now through my government, we're able to now launch it in a very big capacity. We had a session attended by the daughter of His Excellency the President, Ms. Charlene Ruto, who came as well to grace the occasion. And other than that, we had a pilot program that we termed it as Men on a Mission. Men on a Mission is a program that will look to mentoring the boys, campus boys, and ensuring that they also transition well in government. I think those are just, yes. So I think those are just a few of my achievements so far that I believe I quite take pride in.
Are there things that you promised during your campaigns that having finished this 1 year you realized you were not able to deliver on?
Yeah, 1 or 2, mostly not really affecting my faculty, but now affecting the 2 other faculties, which is Faculty of Business and Faculty of Arts. We live in Faculty of Business in Mombasa. There's been a sense of confusion in terms of getting class links, online versus physical exams and things of that sort. I tried to streamline it, got to 70% or so, but there's still something that can be done to make the whole process better. Faculty of Arts equally as well, issues regarding missing marks and those other small issues that ought to be resolved. I believe I didn't reach it to the very, very best, but nonetheless, I tried to set a groundwork and a strategy, and as much as my government was not able to implement it all to its fruition, I trust that the next one shall do their best.
That's that. While we are speaking about things which we have begun, are there some projects which you began and are hopeful that the next government will be able to take them up and continue?
Yes, they are. First, I'll start with the debating club, bringing it back. It was dead. Now it's back alive and roaring. So I believe that the next government that comes back must revitalize and bring back the energy that is needed for law students to participate in clubs.
Other things that, looking back now, having gone through this experience, you wish you knew before you stepped into the role?
I wish I knew time was this short, because I think time has just come. The other day someone was telling me I'm really active as if I don't know my tenure is coming to an end. So I ought to have known time was this short. But nonetheless, other than that, yeah, you see, our time when we got into leadership, it was in the midst of national campaigns. Yeah. So most of the student leaders were engaged in national campaigns. We finished that. We were on a long holiday as well. We came back and it was all confusion of finishing. So yeah, I wish I knew how to have diarized everything well, better. And yeah, but other than that, I don't think there's much to regret in the aspect of what I wish I knew. Since I was in the system for a whole year before I became governor, so I knew quite a lot of loopholes and what ought to be done and changed in my tenure.
What are some of the gaps you feel, having led the campus for 1 year, still remain that you hope the next government will be able to look into and hopefully resolve?
Missing marks. Some missing marks are not explainable. I believe it ought to be fixed.
Another team is about to take over from you. And now your experience as a chair. What are some of the tips you'd give them as they get in there so that their tenure as well would be successful?
I'd advise them to consult wisely, to understand who their enemy is. Their enemy is, in the previous mindsets of student leaders, the enemy has always been the administration. But I'd like them to know that the admin is not necessarily your enemy. The enemy is the problem that is facing the comrade. If it's missing marks, if it's a poor set of facilities. Now, when it comes to tackling it, focus on your enemy. Don't focus on other sideshows that are not there. Yeah, I'd also like them to have an open door policy for the comrades, in that if there's an issue, comrades should be able to approach them directly. Once student leaders come in, they can fail to pick your calls. I've seen some chairpersons even aspirants claiming that they have PAs. I see that as unnecessary sideshows. So they ought to have an open door policy to listen to the students and act once called upon.
We would want you as well to give a parting shot to the people you have been serving for the last 1 year, even as we draw near to the end of this.
Okay. I'd like to thank them for giving me an opportunity to serve them. in a leadership capacity for all years of my academic life, the 4 years of my academic life. It has been an honor, it has been a privilege, and I have greatly enjoyed it. For what I've done and you've loved, thank you very much. For what I've failed to achieve, I do pray that you will pray for me to have the ability to achieve it maybe in the next phase of life if I get there. And I really hope that we'll all be able to meet at the very top of the ladder in the next few coming years to celebrate our success and achieving what we would have purposed to achieve at that stage of life. So to my constituents, I wish you all the best, and thank you very much for allowing me to serve you.
Now, you have mentioned the next stage of life. What should we expect from you, Governor, even as you transit?
What to expect from me is focusing on my academics. I've been in leadership from primary school. I schooled at the Nyali School. I was an assistant head boy, I was a head boy. I went to high school in Western, French School Kamsinga. I was a captain there as well. I came to you, and so leadership has been following me, but through it all, it's all been academics. So even past this, my first focus is on academics. Finish Kenya School of Law, do masters, and then after that, we will see what God will place on our tables, and whatever He places, He gives grace to tackle it. So we shall tackle it in 3 years.
Okay, should we expect more participation in national politics?
If the Lord so desires.
Okay, that's smooth. As we come to the end, the last bit of this segment of this interview is usually you sharing a fun fact with us about yourself, because we know a lot about you, but it's all serious and low. Then we'll proceed to the second part.
I drive with both feet. I was told that's a very rare thing. So yeah, I think that's a fun fact about me.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's a fun fact.
And secondly, we would want you to do something for us. Usually, most times we take performances. If you can sing, if you can dance, but you can surprise us as well.
Wow, I am terrible in dancing. Singing, which song am I supposed to sing?
Whichever, your choice.
God will work it out. God will work it out. One thing I know, one thing I've found. God will work it out.
Lovely. Not bad at all, is it?
Thank you very much.
Now, Kevin, we are indeed grateful that you could join us and make time to be with us here to give an account of how your tenure has been. And we are so grateful that the Lord has indeed worked it out for you and, of course, for the good of all the students of the University of Nairobi. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
Now, to you, our loyal viewer, we are glad that you could join us for this episode of The Leadership Lens, taking you all the way to the satellite campus in Mombasa of the University of Nairobi. And even there, we are glad that we are experiencing value-based leadership. Now, we are hopeful that you'll join us again for the next episode. But until then, I have been your host, Emma Jaber.